Whilst these rockets were revolutionary in their day, there is perhaps one rocket system that has influenced space travel more than any other rocket system. And there's a fantastic example of that right here at the Imperial War Museum in Lambeth. Let's go take a look.
This is a V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile. The V-2 was a Nazi superweapon created in 1944, designed to replace the V-1 flying bomb. Thousands of these were fired at Allied positions from France in the later stages of World War II, many of which were at Dutch ports, which the Allies were using to bring in supplies to support the invasion of Europe. However, thousands of them were also directly targeting civilian populations, including 1,400 of them that were fired at civilian populations right here in London. The previous Nazi superweapon, the V-1, had been an effective weapon system, but it was more of a self-guided plane rather than a rocket. It needed an enormous ramp in order to take off, and it needed a large amount of flat land in order to have such ramp. And it was also very slow in comparison to the V-2, and extremely loud. In fact, it was so loud it was given the nickname the Doodle Bug. All of these shortcomings meant that it was very easy to shoot down with anti-aircraft guns or by RAF fighter squadrons. However, the V-2 by comparison was almost silent. It could be fired off of the back of a truck or in a densely populated woodland, and was capable of breaking the sound barrier, travelling at over 3,000 miles per hour, much faster than the measly 400 miles per hour of the V-1. Whilst these rockets were an enormous jump from the V-1, they did have problems. One of which is a problem the V-1 also had, was that you didn't actually know if you hit your target. But also, V-2 rockets were powered by ethanol, created from potatoes. But as the war went on and food became extremely scarce, finding fuel for these rockets became a real problem. But the real reason these rockets were not more effective was quite simply that these were first used in September of 1944, and the Allied forces were already deep in Europe on the Western Front, and the Soviet Union was quickly approaching from the east. Whilst these rockets were not enough to win Hitler the war, its creator, Wernher von Braun, had made incredible advancements in rocket engineering, and this was recognised by the Americans. So as part of Operation Paperclip, a program designed to recruit German scientists and engineers at the end of the Second World War, the Americans gave Wernher von Braun asylum in the US and later offered him citizenship. Wernher von Braun then went on to work for NASA and was the chief designer of the Saturn V rocket that put Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon on the Apollo 11 mission. So without the V-2 rocket, we may have never landed on the moon.